From idea to App Store, the road to publishing an app. My name is Jameson Saunders. I'm a professional app developer who's published dozens of apps for companies across my career as a freelancer. Step one is to choose an idea. Now, of course, it's totally up to you what idea you choose, but AI can help you come up with ideas, or you probably, if you're watching this video, you probably already have ideas for apps. But once you have your idea, you can move on to step number two, which is to build some mockups. And these are visual representations of your application. And you could generate these with I suppose, and kind of tweak them or get ideas. You could also just draw out on paper, straight from your brain to paper. That's a pretty good way to go. That way you're, direct from the source, and AI is not really influencing your idea. Up to you what kind of tool you want to use here. Step three would be to build a prototype. Now you can sometimes reuse what you have from step two, right? Like this. This was built in Mockflow, and I could have hooked this up so that you can click around on the different buttons. And that would turn it into a clickable prototype to where now I could actually hand this to users or investors and demonstrate the functionality that I'm seeking to provide with the application. Here on the right, I've got a picture of a breadboard, which is used in electronics to figure things out before you create the full manufacturing process for a new device. Similarly, when building a software prototype, you want to use something that's easy to change, such as a visual-only no-code editor like Mockflow, or just UI-only programming with no API, no backend. That will allow you to change things a lot easier than if you had the full thing coded up. Step four is to build an MVP, which stands for Minimum Viable Product. And the idea here is to bring your prototype to life, complete the full front end and back end. This also involves choosing a front end and back end technology, which, it kind of depends on the scope of your project and your exact features you need, what front end and back end you should choose. I have some common favorites I like. I have Angular as my front end framework and Ionic as a mobile app packager. And for the back end, for something simple, I could use Firebase. And for something more complex that needs a SQL database, I would use something like Postgres database with ASP.NET Core. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below to a video I did on SQL versus NoSQL, a very important decision to make before you build out your full product. And once you have your front end and back end tech decided, or if you have a qualified developer decide that for you, then you just want to go ahead and build out that full MVP, right? And stop once you've reached it so that you can move on to step number five, which is to submit your app for approval on the app stores. Now, there are agreements. They're called the Apple Developer Guidelines and the Google Play policy. And you want to make sure that your app abides by these policies, otherwise you might not get it approved. Also, unfortunately, sometimes these reviewers for the app stores, they can be a little bit finicky, I suppose, or you could just get unlucky where someone's in a bad mood, or for whatever reason they just decide to deny your update or deny your new app submission. I've even had times where there's an app I have on the App Store and it's smooth sailing, no problems. Then out of the blue, it just gets a deny, gets rejected from the App Store for something that seems totally out of the blue, and you kind of just have to deal with these guys. Rarely will appeals get approved, in my experience. You kind of just have to bend the knee to these gatekeepers and try and get your app on the app stores. I will also link the official App Store guidelines and Google Play policy below. Step six is that your application is now published on the App Store and or the Google Play Store, depending on what you targeted. And now you've pretty much got to focus on maintaining, pushing out new features, things like that. So hopefully you built your app in a way that's easily maintainable, which is one reason why I don't really like using AI to build things, because I find that the code quality is rather poor. I've done a full video on why I don't really like AI building real products. You should check that out. It's a good follow-up to this video, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of, I would say, like a lot of projects that get stuck and they need a rescue, essentially, where they're not totally secure, they're not maintainable, things like that. I'll leave a link in the description below to that video. You should check it out. By the way, if you need an actual developer, I may have some availability. Feel free to schedule. I have a one-time one-on-one consultation I offer for people where I can help you pick technologies for your project, and we can discuss if it's a good fit, and if I have availability, I can actually build the full thing for you. Subscribe for more videos from me, Jameson Saunders, about app development and website development. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.